Hello and welcome to Diva of Days Lives. This is Carrie. You can find me on Twitter at Diva of DOOL. We are on YouTube Live right now, Diva of DOOL 541, and Facebook Live, Diva of Days Lives, and we should be on X Live also. We're also on Instagram, Diva_of DOOL, and we do have the website, which I'm going to be updating hopefully sometime this week, divaofduel.com. And if you want to join us and call in, please start a Riverside account here at Riverside FM, and I'm going to post a link here shortly if anybody wants to join us. And it is optional if you want to be on camera, so that's up to you. So we have Marianne here tonight.
Oh, you can find me at mama_hooch on X. I'm on Instagram and I'm also on Facebook.
And Miss Jen's here.
Hey, I'm at REXJDK at Twitter.
And from our Witless Protection Program, which I just got out of, thank goodness.
Just in time to get a banner for a background for the St. Patty's Day celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. What are you up to? Where are you at?
I went, but I won't say exactly where I'm at because I am in the Witless Protection Program, but I might have been spying on Kristen and taking care of her mom in Aramid, which is not nearly as exciting as Alamainia, but you know. So you can find me at Causey Hooch on X and on Instagram.
All righty. So, well, do you guys want to start with the whole Stephanie thing since that was pretty much a lot of the action this week? Yeah. So I was grossed out with the whole dislocating of the thumbs thing.
Yeah, almost as bad as the germ transfers of like family cooking and stuff.
I felt
Maybe
his
worse.
pain with the yelling he did. Oh my gosh.
He yelled so loud, Rolf hurt him with AirPods in his ear.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't need that. So yeah, so apparently you could dislocate your thumb to get out of handcuffs, in case anybody needs to know that for the future. And Stephanie told us how to.
Yeah, she basically told any prisoner how to get out of handcuffs.
Yeah.
Hi, when you've got Stephanie telling you how
from
to
her research, from her book. That's what
and
she
always
said.
have a couple of random bobby pins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I always have bobby pins.
You know, is hair gonna fall out? Anyway, so yeah, always have a couple of random bobby pins available.
I have not had bobby pins in my hair since my wedding day. That
I was gonna say,
a couple years ago.
Very rarely
years
see
ago.
that, but I guess
my
people
daughter's
still
wedding.
Yeah.
Put all kinds of pins in your hair.
Yeah.
Anyway, so time to get a new pack at Target or something and just have them on hand. Just when you thought something was out of style. Yeah. So it was kind of interesting. What I'm trying to figure out is why did the Brain Trust finally figure these things out? Like she's been there how many weeks now? Of course, in her lifetime, it's probably 3 days. But you know, how long has she been in there? That she's had these bobby pins. I guess it took him that long to dislocate his thumbs. I don't know. Anyway, I mean, I guess you're not thinking clearly when you haven't had a bathroom break or water for 3 days, several days, or however many days.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
one thing that was odd to me too was those chairs look like they could have literally just stood up.
Yeah, and walked out of there with them.
Yeah, or made some sort of racket or smashed them or something. Yeah, they weren't like heavy that you couldn't lift them up. Especially Jeremy should have been able to lift them.
You would think.
Should have been able to stand up. Yeah, because they weren't. Were they tied? No, they just had handcuffs on, right?
Yeah.
And they could off the legs, if it's around. I don't know how it was done, but yeah, I was thinking this isn't. I hope to never be in that predicament, but if I am, I certainly hope I can figure it out faster than those two. No, I shouldn't say that. I'm taking
now
that.
you know.
That's
have
just
a bobby pin. 2 bobby pins.
I don't want to invite that kind of karma.
No.
Right.
But yeah, it was tedious at best to watch that.
And hoping the people looking for you are smarter than the ones who are looking for them.
Yeah, true. Especially since all of them have been like the ISA and or medical school,
Oh God.
And we had the dumbest brain usually in Salem figure it out.
Yeah.
or figure out
Cat and Rafe
maybe who might have done it.
Notice the room was smaller. She's the one that actually figured out. She looked at the picture. She showed Rafe pictures of
that where she's at. Yeah, or who might have done it. Yeah, I meant the kidnapper. But yeah,
she used code that was 11-8-65. That was cool. Yeah.
11. Oh yes, 11-8-65.
Yeah. But I
Those
love
the
when they
room.
give little shout outs to the fans and stuff. But yeah, it was kind of like, okay, cool. So Kat was the one that actually figured it out, to be honest, because she's the one that was like, wait a minute. When everyone else just walked in there and was like, nope, don't see anything else here.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Kayla would find her wedding ring in the trash or something. Because remember how
Well, she noticed the room was smaller and
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
all
yeah,
different.
Kat, she tipped Rafe off to go get the blueprints
Yeah.
where they were and everything. Who also had an absolute, okay, we know what's gonna happen now, since Alex just told him if he ran into Jeremy, he was gonna kill him. So of course we know which room Alex is gonna go in. He's gonna
Right.
find two of them
Yes, of course.
cuddle together.
You
And
take
probably,
that room, I'll take this room. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we knew that was gonna happen. So annoying.
Yeah, it annoyed me about a lot of it was Kat tells Ray. Well, yeah. So Kat and Kayla get into the room. Kat figured out what the code was, and then Kayla left. And Rafe came in, and then Kat left to get the blueprints, and she came back. She's like, "Yeah, this room is smaller." So they figure out there's probably a trapdoor somewhere, but they literally don't look for it.
Yep.
No.
What drove me nuts. They didn't look. And then Alex comes in and finds it in 30 seconds.
Yep. Because Kat decided to go get the plans.
Thought he had Rafe go. She had Rafe go get him.
Yeah, Rafe went to get him.
Yeah.
Then he,
yeah. But
yeah.
anyway, and then he brought Alex along.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
And then he finds Lexie. Ray finds Lexie
Yeah.
because he looks in.
Right.
I think he said, "Oh my God," or something in Spanish.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
could.
was me.
I think that's what someone said he said. Because what did he say?
yeah, it just, someone who's only done an escape room once, you kind of know you have to check everything.
Yep.
And there are certain things that could trigger a hidden door being open. So it bothered me. Rafe's just like, well, I don't know what the door is. Why didn't you look?
Yeah, where's
Come
your
on, you've
intellectual
been into the Mirror
curiosity,
Mansion,
Mr.
Rafe.
Investigator?
How many times has
He knows about the
locked in
tunnels.
secret room?
Well, the thing is, too, it wasn't just a passageway to a secret room. There was a hallway and 2 secret rooms.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, so this space was a lot larger than, just, a few feet. Oh, and then Rafe went into the room and discovered the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was it Stephanie or who was it that said early on that they played in that area when they were kids? Was it Jeremy? When Jeremy's dad was a chief of staff?
Well, might have been.
Oh, yeah.
He remembered playing down there or something like that.
But
Like,
he was
It was
in
something.
Salem at that point.
I know, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I just remember him
Yeah.
making that, or him or somebody else making the comment. Maybe it was Stephanie. Something about when they were kids,
Yeah.
they remembered playing down there or something, or going down there.
Yeah.
Like that he knew every inch of the hospital or something like that. I don't know.
I gotta say, it was a neat trick, though, having Stephanie basically called 911 on
Yeah.
Owen's phone.
Yeah, that was cool.
That
Yeah,
was
how
I
she
like that.
played into
That
him
was
kissing
smart.
her, and she kissed him
Yep.
back, grabbed the
Yeah,
phone.
that was smart. Got him distracted. And okay, and can we also discuss how the other brain trust in town, who's increasingly become the most intelligent person in the entire
Right. That's what
area?
I said.
Yep.
Brady.
No,
Brady.
Good for Brady.
Yeah.
yeah, Brady's the one. I mean, you would think her parents would remember that Owen Kent had kidnapped her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Like, how
Your mother and father should have remembered that.
Yeah.
remember
Did Brady
that?
even know? I guess Brady knew of him.
But I mean, how would he be the one to come up with that when
Yeah, that didn't make
guess-
sense.
Right.
everyone being so blinded by who they thought it was that they
Right.
didn't?
Wasn't Steve still dead at that point?
It
Right.
could be, but still.
You would think at some point in the family conversations, they'd be like, oh, and then there was that time that Stephanie was,
Kidnapped.
stuck in the morgue with this crazy Owen Kent guy.
Well, you think Philip would have said something when he was
Yeah,
talking to
Philip
Gabby
should've
back
said
then.
Yeah.
Well,
something,
yeah,
yeah.
you'd think he would have mentioned him. And
Yes.
instead, that was just sort of like letting the audience know that it wasn't some random guy out of the blue, that there was actually history. But yeah, he should have been calling somebody and saying, hey, you need to look into this guy. So yeah, so annoying.
And Brady was the one that said about going to check out the morgue because his family owned it. And maybe he went there.
And then that's how they saw him out there, right?
But then they found him in the park or wherever they were. They did find him.
You know, he looks an awful lot like the guy Liam. And
He does. He looks more like Liam.
I'm thinking they grabbed Liam by accident.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm thinking they may have grabbed Liam by accident.
You think it's Liam. Okay, because we just saw the hood up over him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be.
Good.
Yeah. Because they never showed anything more, right?
Yeah.
Kind of ended like that.
That's true. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see.
They do look
spoiler,
alike.
yeah, the spoiler video though shows Brady taking in one to the police. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Rolfe, like where you mentioned when he heard Jeremy screaming, he goes into the other room and actually sees Stephanie and Jeremy. And of course he's pissed. And then he goes to EJ and EJ's like, yeah, we have to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
But EJ
make
didn't
sure
know
they are
about it in
never
the
found
beginning.
again. They always make it that sound like that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they're going to be sent to an island or something like it.
And I like how
Code for Rolfe needs to off them.
Yeah.
And I like how Kat confronted him because she thinks, you know,
Yeah.
all the bad things that you've done, and everybody's telling me, you know, did you do that? Did you have anything to do with her, you know, kidnapping? And he says, no, he didn't, which is true. He didn't after the fact, but he was still going to have her killed.
Yeah.
He left that part out.
He's like, I wasn't lying. And then they kiss.
Yeah. Then no, she did. She grabbed him and kissed him. Yeah.
Wanted it.
Yeah.
It's about time EJ gets some. It's been a while.
Really.
No.
Yeah, and the episode ends on Friday. Basically Stephanie collapses, but she's just, her muscles are pretty much atrophied from being in that chair. And Jeremy's holding her and Alex walks in.
Yes.
She's cold. She's freaking. And then Alex walks in. So now
he has a scalpel too.
We get to resurrect the statement. He was beaten within an inch of his life. I'm going to be looking forward to that. Let's see if we can. Because there for a while, and it's come up again during this storyline at some point when they thought they had Jeremy dead to rights. Mm-hmm. There was a time with another storyline where it was dead to rights every other day. Like they were using that. So now I think we're going to go back to beat him within an inch of his life. So, and then of course, because he's a hero and not a zero, it's going to cause an obstacle and an issue with newly married Alex and Stephanie, probably.
Yes. Although we know he's leaving in April, Jeremy.
Okay. Yeah.
So, which kind of, when you know that kind of stuff.
I hate when.
I don't want to know this stuff.
I don't either.
Sometimes it's better not to know, because then that's what you would be thinking. Oh, maybe she's going to like Jeremy and you know, drop Alex for Jeremy.
Oh, it'll create some drama for a little while, for sure.
That's what I miss about the 80s. You did not know what was going to happen.
Exactly.
Yes. I loved that back then.
And you couldn't wait all weekend long. Like I remember with Luke and Laura and with their wedding day. And so I was like somebody was Scotty thrown over the side of the boat or something.
None of the soaps. Yeah.
I distinctly remember. Yeah. But it could have been any of them that was the case, that the cliffhanger Friday, and all weekend long you were just like, I can hardly wait till Monday.
Yep. And if you were in school, you had to wait till you got home.
Right.
Oh, yes. And you couldn't take anything.
Before the old VCRs,
you lost it. Yeah.
We did have a VCR early on, but before that,
in the 70s.
No, early 80s we got one.
Yeah.
One of the first.
But you were like in the late 60s or 70s.
But you either had to miss the maximum number of days allowed per year and still graduate to the next, which I don't know. I may have done every year. But anyway, and still get good grades. But, you know, so I never got in trouble for it. But yeah, either that or you had to tape record or tell your mom or a parent or somebody that was at home, tape record this episode before the VCR came along, and then not skip school, be sick and home to watch it. So anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think Days came on at 1 or 2, but I remember running home, could watch Another World because I think Another World came on at 3. course, there was like 3 soaps there. And
Yeah.
way back in the olden days, they were only on for half an hour until because they were all on half an hour. So, yeah.
I thought Another World was always an hour. And
Another World? I don't know,
Trip.
maybe it was. I know Days wasn't.
Yeah.
But I do remember, like, part of the day you get home, like, by 3 o'clock or 2:33, and you could watch some of them.
Yeah.
But I think Days was on, like, where I lived, was on, like, around 1 o'clock.
Yeah. It was on at
Yeah.
1 when I was growing up. Then Another
Uh-huh.
World, then Santa Barbara. I don't watch Santa Barbara, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Santa Barbara. Love, love, love,
Yeah,
love
I watched Santa
Santa
Barbara,
Barbara.
yeah. I
So
remember The Doctors. You guys probably don't remember that show.
Well, I watched The Doctors
The
early on.
Doctors? Yeah.
I mean,
That was
maybe
on, I think,
later on.
between
I
Days and
was,
at one time and Another
yeah,
World. Yeah.
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 When I was a little kid, I even watched Ryan's Hope and The Doctors and Search for
Yeah,
Love,
there was so many of them.
Yeah.
Edge of Night.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I'm getting
Yeah.
off track.
Okay, is there anything else? Well, I guess it ties into this. Joy's coming back, Joy Wesley, I guess, in
Yeah.
April.
Boy.
Okay.
That's the real obstacle bump
With the
there.
baby,
With
right?
baby.
Probably. Or she's, yeah, with the baby.
With
I
a
would
kid
think.
that looks just like Alex.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
glad it's the original actress too, so
Oh,
I'm
It's the
glad.
same actress.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
I liked her. I've seen some people who aren't happy about her return, but I liked her. I thought she was feisty and fun, and
Yeah.
yeah. So we had that to look forward to. And next week, the new Rachel Black
Yep.
will be
Yeah,
on.
she looks like a good fit from the
Yeah.
pictures. And I did see a little interview with her too that they did on Days, and she resembles the other one. I think she do all right.
Yeah. The other one starts as Laura Ingalls in July. The show
Oh
premiere.
yeah, I've seen some. Yeah, yep, she would be good as Laura. I
So
think.
they haven't even aired the beginning of the reboot of Little House on the Prairie then?
Yeah, it starts July.
Okay, but I mean, they were already
Filming, I
renewed
believe.
the season,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize they hadn't aired anything yet. Okay.
Yeah, they got renewed for a second season. They're already hyping the show.
Yeah.
Like I saw it mentioned, like on the Today Show and stuff. Yeah, they're already starting a lot of promotion for it 4 months in advance.
Where's it going to be aired? Is it on NBC or is it going to
Amazon.
be on
No, Netflix. I'm sorry.
Netflix?
Oh, it's Netflix. Okay.
I'll be watching it. I was
Check
a
it
big
out.
fan when I was a kid. I'll try it out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, watched it all the time.
I never watched it. Never watched a single
What?
episode.
What?
Sudden clarity about, well, never mind.
You'll find a bunch of soap actors on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I watched that in the Waltons and,
The Waltons, yeah. Dr.
Ate it.
Quinn. Anybody
Well,
watch that? I
geez,
love
we're-
that.
But we're having like a now. See, I never
Dr.
watched
Quinn Medicine
other
Women.
than clips. Never
Sully.
watched,
Oh my.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
but I did watch Eight Is Enough. That was
Yep.
one of my favorites.
8 is enough.
Did you guys
Wonder
ever?
Year.
Yeah. You guys ever watch
No.
the
Never
second
that.
or third episode? Wayne Northup is in.
Wow.
nice. Very cool.
Ah.
By the way, speaking of Wayne Northup, I'm liking Liam better now.
Yeah, he's getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's because they're letting him show personality,
Yes.
Mhm.
and he's not just this like I don't know. Maybe he's getting more comfortable in the role, but I also think
Yeah.
they're
You better behave with Julie.
Yeah.
Julie
Yeah.
will set him straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the new Dr. Rolfe. He was on the episode of The Pit. It was season 1.
Okay.
Still have
Yeah.
to watch that.
I wish I could watch it, but I know you guys were saying it's pretty gory. So,
It is gory. Yeah.
I can't
Even
deal with
more gory
that.
than some of them.
I wish it didn't always have to be like that with some shows, but yeah, because I love the character development and a lot of
I
things
thought
like
Grace
that.
could be gory
I mean,
sometimes.
oh, and I stopped watching Grey's. I watched the early year,
Oh, I watched all the Grays.
but yeah, they had some pretty crazy stories too. But anyway,
Yeah, Dr. Rolfe, he did not make it. Spoiler.
Oh,
On The
he'll
Pit.
come back. He'll come back.
Yeah.
He'll come
And
back.
he didn't have his hair braided either. So
did he have his accent?
Was it long? No accent?
no, I don't think there's no accent.
Yeah.
No.
It's so weird to hear them talk without it.
Yeah. Well, that's one criticism people have about The Pit is like literally no one on the show has a Pittsburgh accent.
I was gonna say you'd think
There's
they
none.
would.
None? Does that one nurse
That's-
try to? I don't know. She kind of, I don't know. I just saw a clip. Is there a nurse that kind of talks like that? Or is she the only one? No?
But they do film in Pittsburgh in the outdoor scenes and the camera shots. Yeah, that's all Pittsburgh for real. Yeah.
They should work on that a little bit to have at least somewhat of an accent for some of the people.
Do they say yins?
I didn't hear yuns yet.
Yins?
Yeah.
Yins?
For Slippy?
What?
Yeah.
They did two things wrong about my hometown in Newcastle. They actually said this woman lives in Pittsburgh and commutes to work in Newcastle, and that is not a thing
Yeah.
because we don't have jobs in Newcastle.
How
And
funny.
And if you have a job in Newcastle, you buy a house in Newcastle because our houses are significantly cheaper than Pittsburgh.
And then you commute to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's the other way around.
You're in Pittsburgh, you commute. Yeah, Newcastle, you commute to Pittsburgh.
Commute.
And they said Pittsburgh was the fireworks capital of America. That is not true. That is Newcastle.
Okay.
They got to get their stuff together.
Literally, no one ever claimed Pittsburgh was the fireworks capital of America. No,
Never heard that in my life. Yeah.
There's at least two major fireworks manufacturers in Newcastle, and they mentioned Zambelli. That's the big one that does like the Super Bowl and all that. So yeah, so I have to correct the record on the pit.
Yeah, there's a show on Channel 5 that's filmed in my town.
Oh, cool! What's the show about?
It's called something medical. And this doctor, he's afraid of the sight of blood.
Oof, wrong profession.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not fond of needles, so like nursing was not an option for me. You know, I mean, you can put a needle in me. I can't watch you do it.
Yeah. I just
look away.
Yeah. I don't need to watch that. Right. Marianne, I'm sure you have some opinions on Sarah and Xander this week when they were in the hospital with the baby.
Very cute baby, by the way.
She's a cutie patootie.
She's cute, yeah. And they showed her laying in the bed. Well, she still has she had a fever, and I guess, Sarah and Xander fell asleep. You know, of course, they probably were there all night. And Brady comes in and brings some sweet bits, but then he just kind of sees, because Sarah has her head on his shoulder, and he kind of leaves the room. And then Kayla comes in to check, I think, and then they wake up, and then they're talking, and they're just, they've been getting in. Then I try to go back and think, because this has happened to me and my husband. It's like, how did we start this argument? You know, it's like, how did we get from this to that? So what started it? And you never can figure out. Like, one thing, everything's going right, and another thing, you're like at each other. So I think it was Sarah made a comment about Xander could leave now. Something about you could leave, but I don't know. Do anybody remember why she said that? Some of you could leave now. And what's that?
He was getting loud and angry, and she didn't want him to wake her.
Yeah, but that was even before he got loud, because she says, "Oh, you could go now." He'd say, "I want to stay, and it doesn't bother me." And I forget exactly why she wanted him. And then it just took off from there.
Yeah.
Like, then he started getting mad and getting, yelling. And Xander was not yelling.
Yeah, he was
just no. But then she accuses him. Then all the baby did, or she's not a baby, a 2-year-old, Victoria did, was kind of cough. She just coughed or something like that. And to see what you did? See what you did to Victoria? And and she goes off on him, and she's there's your anger. He says, "I am controlling my anger. I'm going to a therapist." And she says, "Well, maybe I'll just going to rethink the whole custody thing."
Yeah, like, she needs to cut it out.
She's the one that escalated it. She's the one that started it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to give him credit. He kind of just said, okay. Then he did leave. But does anybody, I can't remember why it's like it came out of the blue. Why are you asking him to go? Like, he's the father. If he wants to stay there another whole day, he should be able to.
He's like, don't you have to go to work or something?
Yeah, something like that. And he said, "Oh no, I'll stay." And he says, "Well, why do you want me to leave?" He took it the wrong way.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. And she's saying that he took it the wrong way. But what other way I don't know. What other way would you take it? So, but once he said, "No, I want to stay," she should have said, "Okay, well then that's fine. That's your choice." So I guess he left, but she said, "No, I don't." I thought, oh no, is she going to renege on that and not have him be able to see Victoria? But she said no, I think. She said, "No, I don't want to do that." So I don't know. Was there anything else with them? That's the one thing that
was it with them.
That was the one thing that really stood out with him. Here she goes. And most of the time I don't care. Most of the time it's Sarah's fault.
Yeah.
I like them together, but I don't
It's
know.
annoying.
She's annoying.
Yeah.
So anyway.
At least she's not doing the baby talk thing. Thank
Yeah.
goodness.
No, she doesn't do that anymore. No.
I like him with Gwen, though.
I do too if they'd show them more.
Not
instead
so
of
much
just
right now, but back in the day, I
Yeah.
liked them together.
Yeah, actually, I kind of think Sarah needs to get some therapy too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Why
she.
isn't she in therapy? Yeah, Xander should say that. I think you need some therapy. Oh,
Yeah, they were in couples therapy for just a short time, right? And then,
I think,
but it's like he's always the problem, not her.
Yeah,
Like,
she's,
yeah, she's acting kind of like an alcoholic's wife when he sobers up, and she's still, prickly and defensive, which is totally a normal reaction to have. But yeah, I couldn't figure out what the heck who started the argument or what the heck was going on, what they were even arguing about, and
right.
I felt like she was falsely accusing him of getting angry, and I thought he was kind of controlled.
Yeah.
He was very controlled for Xander.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so I still think they kind of need some time apart. But yeah, she needs to calm down a bit. So, but I mean, yeah, he has legitimately changed, but she doesn't know that for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of easy to fake it short term too. So, I mean, I understand her point of view, but I think she needs to get some help too. Alrighty. Well, speaking of help, and Gwen invited Melinda over, and she was trying to steal her from Dimitri as an attorney. And this is advice out there. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can't. Yeah, she tried to tell her that.
Of course, Gwen was like she said the line right after I thought it in my head, since when has that ever stopped you? Because Melinda's known for doing things that are unethical and everything.
Yeah.
But yes, she
With
was.
everyone else.
Really?
Yeah. I think the point was she was concerned she wasn't going to get paid.
Yeah.
That was the deciding factor on that one.
Yeah, I think Melinda's trying to do the right thing more than she
she's
did
trying
before.
to be better. Yeah.
Yeah, she's even telling Rachel the same. She's trying to tell people, no, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the thing, because I learned this on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. If you're going to get divorced as a woman, make sure you get your attorney first before your husband even knows you want to separate. Because it's a thing now with men with money. They will actually go and have like an initial meeting with all the top divorce lawyers in town, and that basically eliminates the ones you can get. They even
I've heard of that.
Yeah, because basically it's a attorney-client privilege. Even though they weren't technically hired, they still talk to the husband first, and they are not allowed to be hired by the wife.
Oh my God.
Yes, a lot of men actually doing this. They are just going around talking to all the top attorneys, so the wife doesn't have much of a choice on what attorney she can get. So I know, isn't that seriously? It's dastardly just to go around and talking to people, and you have no intention of hiring them.
Not
You're
surprising.
just making sure your wife can't hire them. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so like I was saying, yeah, even if Melinda wanted to, she absolutely cannot break attorney-client privilege and not represent Dimitri once she already has agreement with him. She can't do it, no matter what.
Now, was the point Gwen was trying to make was that since he skipped town and broke the law, that can release
contract.
Melinda from? Is that what she was trying to say?
Yeah, I think she was trying to say Dimitri's not coming back, so you don't have a client.
Right.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter because he was already working for Dimitri. It doesn't matter what country he was, if he left or not, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Her loyalty's still with Dimitri. Yeah, so I just don't understand that. But Gwen filed for divorce, and so did Dimitri. So did Gwen. I mean, Gwen can do it herself, but I'm assuming she had an attorney when she did it. So, it's a weird rewrite now that Gwen doesn't have an attorney.
Isn't
Maybe
EJ still a practicing attorney?
Yeah. I think he.
Get him. Did she ask him?
I'm just saying that, she could have filed the divorce papers herself, but I mean, you don't need an attorney to do that. But chances are she did have. Yeah, I'm just saying. But remember, they served each other divorce.
Yeah, they
papers.
served papers. The same guy served papers to both people, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right. So I assume she had an attorney from the very beginning, but I guess now she didn't, or maybe she was just trying to steal Melinda. Period. And then Melinda was busy, and she went to see Gabby, and Gabby was talking to her about trying to open up the divorce, dispute the divorce. Yeah, with
Yeah.
Stefan. So I hope we see more Melinda though.
I like her.
Yeah, me too. And boy, the way that twerp, that nut job, turned on her after that,
Sophia.
after all that she did
Sophia.
for Sophia,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Sophia turns around on her like, woof. Yeah, she's psychotic. But anyway,
She's wicked.
well, so we want to talk about Javi calling
Mhm.
Leo. Is that on the list?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was surprised to see him. I
Yeah.
thought it would be another actor.
Yeah.
I know.
I
I know.
know.
Maybe I was thinking maybe he had a window of time where they were able to tape that
Yeah.
particular scene or whatever. But yeah, so yeah, Javi calls Leo and Leo's shocked and Dim is in the shower. So Leo grabs the phone and starts talking with him, is trying to find a place where he can be alone, but he's not getting reception in Alamainia very well. And so he's sitting in there talking to Javi and oh, it was so good to I just love that guy. Now, when he first came on the show, I couldn't stand him. That's just how it works sometimes.
No,
But
he
I
wasn't.
just love the guy that
likable.
plays Javi.
Yeah.
I just love him. And when I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh, Javi, it's so good to see him. Because I really did think it'd be a new actor.
Mhm.
And so it was so nice to see him call Leo. And Leo was so happy. And it was like, oh my gosh, they still love each other and
And
everything.
Dim blew it.
And you knew, yeah, and you knew that this was going to come up. But I have 4 nominations for Divas of the Week, and Javi's one of them. Even though I love Javi, he is one of them because he did the traditional soap thing, which is I'm going to pretend like you're dead for 2 months and act like I don't love you anymore.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to come back into town and be like, wait, you might have moved on after I didn't return your phone calls for 2 months or anything. And honestly, Leo's been a perfect gentleman. I don't think he hasn't done anything with
Nope.
he
No,
hasn't slept with Leo,
No,
with
made
Jim.
him sleep on the floor and everything.
Yeah, he's been bent over backwards. So of course this is gonna. We all know that they're gonna push him the other way. But it just so he's nomination number 1. As happy as I was to see him, Javi was kind of like they were just drinking it up, talking to each other, and they could hardly, there's just, oh my gosh, I still love you. And then Dim comes out from the shower, doesn't realize Leo's on the phone, and says something. Javi, of course, hears it because Leo had told him he was out of town to hunt down. What was it, the Stefan thing? Stefan's murder or death or whatever, researching that or investigating that. And so Javi hears this man in the background, and Leo's like really quick. He just goes, "Oh, that's the TV." And he's like, "No, you're with." And so when he so quickly dismisses Leo, won't even listen to him, won't even be like, will you just at least let's talk when I get back or when you get back home? Okay, I'll give you that because you stuck with me for, I thought you were sticking with me for 2 months. Well, I completely ignored you and acted like I had moved on. You would think that Javi would give Leo a little bit of way as well. So that was my first Diva of the Week. But anyway, so of course, then, Dim plays after he gets off the phone, Dim plays well, I would have not said anything had I known that was, that Javi was on the phone. Doesn't mean the guy had to call.
Yes,
and, I'm thinking, no, he would have made it worse. He'd have been like, oh, baby,
yes.
He'd have been saying some lovey-dovey things in the background. So of course, this gives Leo, the character, the leeway if he does decide to go back to Dim, which I don't like the idea of, but possible. But it's you can see why, because Javi was so quick to dismiss him after dropping him for 2 months or whatever. So anyway, I mean, and granted, Javi had some good reasons, but he also was being kind of passive aggressive with the whole, no, you figure out what your feelings are for Dimwit, Dimitri, and I'm just gonna drop off the face of the earth for 2 months. So anyway, so he's my first submission, but I have 3 others. But anyway, that's that. As far as that goes, I think that's where it kind of left off. Oh, and then Javi did talk to Gabby. And he's like, why didn't you tell me that Leo had moved on? Well, Gabby is no fan of Leo's. So of course she's not going to be like, no, really, he hasn't moved on. He's just on no, she was just helping to dig the hole deeper for Leo because she doesn't like him anyway. So of all the people, if she had talked to maybe Ari or somebody else.
Then when I'm talking to...
No, Ari didn't like him either. No. That's right. If she talked to Chad, or if he talked to Chad, but he wouldn't have to talk to Chad. But anyway, so of course he talks to one of the people that can't stand Leo. So anyway, so he was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" Well, she was probably like, "Well, you hardly ever call, and you've acted like you're." No, she didn't try to put that back on him. She's just like, "Look, you're better off. If he's moved on, you're better off." So yeah. So who knows? Who knows if what'll happen from there? But anyway, so that was that segment.
Yes, and Dimitri went to look for evidence, and he found some paperwork showing that his stuff was moved, and he found the location where he was being held by Gwen.
Yeah. Watch out, Gwen.
I still want Gwen to get away with it, though. I can't stand Dimitri.
Well, me too. Me too.
So I was confused what was going on. Why was Leo dressed as a widow at the cemetery at Stefan? And
I think
Wasn't he supposed to be a lookout?
Yeah.
But it did make sense to me.
For some reason, Vivian and Yvonne
We're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
They go like every day apparently, and they didn't go that day. So I think he was going to try to distract them, perhaps, and be a lookout. Is what I was getting.
Right. Yeah, lookout. So they wouldn't get back. Yeah, somehow.
And then give Dim the heads up when they left to go back home. So that was originally, I think, what they were planning on. And then of course you had, what was her name? Lady who sounds like she's from Russia or whatever. Telling him that. Yeah. Gaslighting him and saying, "Well, you were here for all that. You don't recognize me?" He's like, "I've never been here in my life. I don't know." He's like, "Well, yes, you were."
Oh, we did find out Alamainia is in Eastern Europe. So I didn't know that was never discussed before.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't know where it was. I thought it was an island.
It's kind of like Salem, Salem, USA.
It sounded like Eastern Europe. Sounded like
near
they all have
Chicago
Russian
Bears.
accents or something. You know.
Yeah.
So what was the grave digger doing at the end of that scene?
I don't know, but that was
I know
weird.
that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Was
Like,
he
where'd he
burying?
come from?
Was he burying Vivian? I don't know.
I don't know.
He was, I guess, the kind of personality you want.
Or was
for
he
that
digging
job,
up
maybe,
Stefan?
but
I don't know.
that was
I
weird.
don't think Stefan's in there anyway. I don't think he's dead.
I think Jake's in there.
Yeah, Jake's dead, but I think, Vivian's lying.
Well,
like, why would they believe her? Come on.
Well, the thing is weird too is Jake's in the Demira tomb. We saw that.
Okay.
But Jake has a grave site though in Alamainia. So where is Jake? Is he?
I
Where's
think maybe
his
that's
body?
the memorial or something at the Demir crypt, maybe. Because they have all the names there. I don't know if they're all buried there or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, and I saw someone tweeted me this week. They think Stefano was being unburied, and he might be the next one to use EJ's pod to be brought back to life.
If they do that,
Stefan, I don't think they'll do that.
Stefan. Okay.
Oh, Stefan, not Stefan.
Stefan. No, Stefan.
Oh, okay. I can see them bringing Stefan back. Yeah.
Right as Philip and Gabby are walking down the aisle, as Gabby's walking down the aisle for her Valentine's Day 2027 wedding.
Yep.
But I don't want them digging up corpses. I mean, like Lexie's a little different. I think Stefano just had her stowed away somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, being kept in some kind of way that she wouldn't deteriorate.
Cryogenics or something.
Yeah, but they did this storyline with Bo.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Stefan allegedly has been buried in the ground since October.
Yeah.
So I don't see him being brought back to life in the tube. That'd be gross. Well, speaking of the tube, EJ and Paulina, and he basically put the ball in her hands, saying, basically leave him alone, and Lexie will they'll get Lexie back to life, but if she keeps going after him, then that he's going to have to pull the plug on Lexie. So she decides later on, basically, she'll just leave him be. And she had a conversation with Theo saying she had a decision to make too.
And
Chanel.
Yeah. And Chanel talked
She's
about
kind
Big
of my
Mama.
diva.
She's something about Big Mama.
She played a diva. She's trying to make the decisions and agonizing, telling Chanel, telling Theo.
Yes.
Conversation with EJ.
And actually, Paulina is one of my submissions, but in a more positive way.
Yeah.
Because when she went out, when she reacted with EJ, I was like, OMG, but in a good way.
So
Yeah, she's like
it's her reactions and
she's my positive diva,
and how all she had to deal with making that decision.
Yeah.
And she did. She weighed, she prayed about it. She got an opinion from Chanel. Like Chanel said, go with you. Well, she said about Big Mama. Like
Go with your
go with your heart or something. Go with what your heart tells you. Then of course she would be scared because then she would lose Abe. But she knows if she keeps it from him, then he finds out that then he'd really be upset with her.
Well, and she's kind of covered because I mean she's kind of covered the bases. He won't understand because we know Abe can be a hothead at times too. But this covers her in terms of the audience because she made the right choice for Abe and Theo against her own best interests.
Yeah.
So it means temporarily lying to them or keeping the truth from them in order to give Lexie a chance to actually come back, you know. So she's going the altruistic route, and we all see that. Now Abe won't see that, and Theo won't see that initially, maybe, but
maybe Abe will surprise us and see it.
Yeah, maybe.
Because sometimes he can be reasonable.
Because she's really, she's not fully awake yet. So I think she's waiting and letting EJ continue with his, bringing her back instead of shutting him down. Hoping that
she wouldn't be able to lift herself.
She don't want to get them all their hopes up and then something happen. But that's her thinking, I think. But that's who I, that's the first person I thought of.
Yeah. Well, and the other one's kind of like, I thought Gwen was being a diva when she was pushing Melinda. But I like.
She's
Gwen.
always yeah. Most of them are always divas, but yeah.
And Javi was the passive aggressive diva, and Sarah was the annoying diva, and then
she's another one. Yeah,
I think Paulina. Actually, I think Jack A should get like performance of the week or something like that. She did some great work.
I don't see them romantically together, but I like the way her and EJ play off each other.
Yes.
Oh, well, it's combative. And
really good together,
in-laws or outlaws, as we say.
Yeah. She's not intimidated by him.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Some people, he walks all over.
Yeah. So, related to the Demiras, I also liked how Chanel actually kind of came back to reasonableness when she walks into John's office, sees the gift that she assumes it was the gift that EJ had given to them for baby Trey. I didn't even know that he had opened it in front of her, but it was just, she's like, is that what your dad brought you or whatever? And he's like, yeah, I just couldn't, just once I saw what it was, it was just hard for me to part with it. It was a nice, thoughtful thing. And, but I didn't also want to lie to you or get you upset. And she was actually very reasonable. And she kind of was like, no, it's okay. I understand. I was like, yay, they're actually mature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those two. And I can't believe
I know, I'm still pissed off that I hope they bring them back.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed off because honestly, I love
we
that
need
Lonnie.
to protest.
I mean, and I love that Lonnie and
people even do that anymore.
Are coming back, but they're kind of replacing Chad and his kids for right now. But I guess Chad's coming back though, so they will have them. But it's like, do they not think they have enough room to have another critical part of the families? Both of those characters Chanel and Johnny are both well loved, and they're also critical parts of the legacy.
They're all legacy characters, yeah. Maybe not Chanel so much, but she married into a legacy family.
Right.
And Johnny, certainly. The Bradys and the Demiras.
Yep.
Yeah.
They already have his twin off screen, so and his other sister.
And his sister.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, my nominee for Diva of the Week was actually Belle, because Belle...
I love that, too.
Belle put in her place.
Yep.
That was good.
Yeah, so Belle, Kristen, and Brady were Brady's apartment that everybody loves, and I'm like, this is so average. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're just relieved that
it looks
a 50-year-old
familiar.
man has his own place.
Yeah, I think
they're just happy.
It's just positive reinforcement that he finally left the nest.
Yeah.
So this hearing that they are so off on their continuity here. This hearing about EJ shooting, this was supposed to happen a long time ago, and they said like, oh, it's going to be tomorrow, and then it's been tomorrow for a few days now. So that kind of drives me nuts. But they also said tomorrow about Stefano's will, and that never happened either. Yes, Belle flat out put Kristen in her place, saying how she jeopardized everything, but she took Rachel out of the hospital uh, and all these things. Kristen kind of had to stew a little bit because Belle was right.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of shut her down, didn't she? She kind of really, Kristen didn't have something to really come back on, like, unless she just wanted to sound stupid. So,
Yeah, so Belle was my diva of the week for positive reasons, but
yeah.
she put Kristen in her place,
Yep.
and then she threw some shade, but making a comment, "Oh, Brady, you can go see Sarah later."
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I like that too. That was good. She's like, "How's Victoria doing in the hospital?" Yeah. And then after Kristen left the room, she goes, "Sorry, I just couldn't resist." Yeah, I agree. I like
Brady's
that too.
there. I get it. He always says, I get it.
But I just thought Belle spoke a lot of truth, and she's like, "Look, the judge that you have, that you drew, is the same one that saw your theatrics before with saying, lying to the court about saying that you had shot EJ, and blew up the whole trial, and wasted this judge's time, and so on. So, really, you probably ought to go in telling the truth because she's gonna figure it
Yeah,
out.
tell the truth and nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, tell the truth and shut up.
Yes, be humble and don't be theatrical and dramatic.
Yeah. So I thought that was good. You're right. That was a good one.
And we had Julie is taken over as Liam's reading mentor. And then she notices that he's looking at Ari, and I just read this. Hank Northrop is 35 years old.
He looks young, but he is too old for her.
Yeah. So, and I understand Julie does have a soft spot for ne'er-do-wells. I get it. But can please someone say this age difference is not appropriate?
Right.
Ari is 19 maybe at the oldest.
Yeah.
This is a man with a criminal record who can't read and has a kid, and he's probably about at least probably 6 years older than her, if not 10.
He's supposed to be Theo.
Yeah, so late 20s. Yeah, and I understand.
He's supposed to be late 20s.
Well, even 30, even if he passes for 30, which is Theo's supposed age, still that's a 11, 12-year-old difference. And when you're an early college student, 30 years is like 20 years. A 30-year-old is like 20 years older than you in terms of maturity and life experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I know some idiots who say, "Oh, well, she's legal." That doesn't matter.
That does not count. I'm sorry.
She said she was bored, or she was just looking for something to do. And I was like, did she decide not to rush? Did she decide because Holly didn't get in? I thought she decided to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, she got in, I think.
Yeah,
Okay, well, that's a lot of work. They keep those girls busy. So she should have plenty to do besides looking around for this guy, So anyway, yeah.
And she's in college. There are guys her own age she can date.
That actually are already able to read, not to knock him because he's trying, but the amount of catch up they would have to do to get him to, like, at least he was able to read the title of her book, the book that she was reading. That was good. That was a good sign. And again, I'm not knocking. Honestly, I like the literacy aspect of this. I do like that, and I like that he's had a whole change of tune ever since he was involved with the Demira thing. And of course, there's that guy trying to kill him. So of course, this guy is going to Liam's going to end up putting Ari in danger because he's trying to assassinate Liam because he was an unwitting accomplice of the whole Demira thing.
Yeah.
So this means that at some point I think they should both stay out of the hospital elevator system. That's all I'm saying.
And out of town square.
Yes.
And this is literally the same storyline as Doug the Third and Holly. Turn your ringer off. We're almost.
And I was gonna say too, isn't that wasn't it Ari and Holly that ended up didn't Ari end up getting injured trying to escape?
Yep.
It through an air shaft, HVAC shaft or something like that when the last time I mean, the bottom line is Julie, she has a big heart, but she needs to learn to edit who she allows into her world.
Yep.
No, but I do actually like that she's doing, if we're going to have this storyline, I think it's a positive storyline from that standpoint, but it's obviously just a vehicle to get Ari. And is it just me, or maybe it's just me, but when she goes, oh yeah, this is my cousin, like somewhat removed, but
Yeah.
sitting there trying to do the math, like,
Yeah.
okay. I finally was like, oh yeah, Lucas.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Horton.
Lucas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Through Lucas. Yeah. But it took me a little bit. And I still didn't quite catch the she's my cousin part, because I always get confused anyway
Yeah.
with that whole situation. But anyway.
We all need to draw a diagram.
So I will
yeah.
say, I do like him better. I think the writing's better. I think his acting has improved. And I think they're giving him more of a sparkle in his eye and stuff. The problem is he's chasing after a girl, 18 years younger than him or whatever in real life. And also has a lot of baggage, including an assassin that's following him around.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just stay away from the people that Julie takes in for.
Yeah.
I mean, Chad's a good guy, but he was also family through Abigail. But well, of course, the other ones were family too. I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah, I don't want Dazo to tell teenage girls, like, number one, it's okay to pick up men in a bar when you're not even
Right.
21 and sleep with them.
Right.
And number two, it's okay to take on these older men who are projects. I mean, why, as an 18 or 19-year-old, do you want to try to mother a grown-ass man who is older than you, who's already screwed up numerous times? There's college boys you can date that aren't projects.
Yep.
Yeah. To me, it's such a tired trope. Yeah. Usually when you are with someone who's a project, usually it doesn't work out.
No. Well, and plus, it's like I said, if she's really doing the whole sorority thing, that's supposed to sort of, take over your life to a degree, in terms of your social life and all that. And I was never in one, so I can't speak to that. But I just know it's very involved. Even when you're done with rushing, you still have to do all these, activities and the parties, and then also the charitable events and all that stuff. So it's just a very involved thing. So yes, you have a social life, but do you have time to fit in real life 35-year-old man with a 5-year-old and all the other baggage?
And he's older than 5.
I thought he was like
Yeah.
10.
He's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
And she's an intern at Demira, and she's going to college.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to fit a male project in there.
Yeah. So yeah, not a fan of that whole thing, but I do like the way they're doing with
Yeah.
Liam.
Yeah, they're trying to. Yeah, he's improving, and the writing's improving for him.
Yeah.
All right. So next week we have Ari's had enough with Holly and basically wants to cut her out.
No.
Yeah,
I
Stephanie.
don't blame her, to be honest.
No.
Yeah,
What does Holly bring to the table? Nothing
Well,
for Ari.
Holly's a total diva for sure. Stephanie's in a hospital and she looks very traumatized. Rafe arrests EJ. Okay, Owen gets captured, like I said, and Brady brings him into the police station. Looks like Leo gets shot, and this part here is Dimitri sees that there's like a laser light on Leo. Yeah, and also looks like Sean D gets shot. And I thought it was kind of funny because you have Sean D on the scene, JJ, Liam, and the bad guy who's trying to kill Liam. So you have JJ who shot Theo. You have Sean D who shot his father.
JJ.
And Demira henchman, bad guy, and Liam. Look, it looks like Sean D does get shot.
So he hasn't been on the show for
He hasn't been on.
And then his first time back, he gets shot.
Gets shot. Oh my god.
And of course, Jada's gonna come. Well, that's where probably Jada comes in.
Yeah.
He's gonna be there for him.
Yeah, Jada was totally cut out of rescuing Stephanie and finding Owen. Like, where the hell has she been?
Yeah, she's just been on the phone. Like that's
She's
all
been
they've
on the-
done is talk to her on the phone. Weird.
Coordinating on the phone.
Is there anything else we missed from this week? Any comments or I think we kind of got everybody. Alrighty, so I know Anna had a lot of nominees for Diva of the Week. So who was your 4 nominees again?
Well, you've kind of convinced me about Belle because I had thought about her at one point, but I had Javi, Sarah, Paulina in a good way, and who was my other one? I can't even remember now. Oh, Gwen. But I don't know. I would be inclined. I would vote for Belle. I would vote for Belle on that one.
What do you guys think?
Belle.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Belle. I actually forgot about Sarah too. Sarah was a good one. Paulina was the first one that popped for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Belle's
So maybe they both get awarded for sort of good reasons. We have 2 good divas maybe this week.
There you
a
go.
good diva and a bad diva.
All right, so Paulina and Belle then for the good divas.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like that.
That sounds good. All right. Okay, so anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day coming up to
Yes.
everyone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Much luck.
So
Yeah.
you guys got some
Mhm.
Irish going at all?
I have a little Irish in me, English, French,
You got 0, Carrie?
Irish and Scottish.
Got Irish sons, but I am not Irish.
My mother's side.
Gotcha. And then Jen, what did you say?
I think I'm a little Irish. I'm Portuguese, Dutch, English, and some kind of Indian. I'm not sure.
Some kind of what?
Indian.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, apparently you don't have to be Irish to drink a lot on Patrick's Day.
What they say, everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
I'll just eat chocolate.
Oh, there you go.
That's always a good.
Yeah, that's what I will do anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, Jen.
Yeah, I got.
All right. Take care, everybody.
All right.
All right, thank you, everyone. Good night.
Bye.